Costa was just running the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Say that again. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right, let's go on. Let's get back to it. Welcome back to Practicing Bad Habits. Your man, Mr. Wright's in the building. You got your man, A. And we got two-time world champ, A. Blaine, Shuttdown, Shutt's in the building. What's going on, B?
What up?
Pleasure to have you in the building, man. And we're blessed to have the belts also in the building with us. You know what I mean?
That was the good luck challenge.
What was it like to hold this up for the first time, one of these belts up for the first time, your very first championship?
It was awesome. I mean, it didn't come on my first try. You know, I lost, I think, 2 title fights before I won my first one. And, the first one I got was the AOW world title for the flyweight division.
Okay.
Which actually came with a lot of controversy because I was originally supposed to fight for it, and my opponent backed out the day of weigh-ins. So they just made me the champion that night anyways.
How do you feel about that?
At first it was cool, right? Because I sold tickets, I sold a shit ton of tickets. And a lot of people came out and they didn't get to see me perform, but it was cool that they got to see me get,
get your flowers.
Yeah, right? They got to see me, step in the cage and whatnot. Yeah. And I was strapped with being the world title and stuff like that. I did get a lot of backlash with it, right? Nobody just wants to be handed a world title and stuff like that.
No, that's why I'm asking.
And so, I mean, I made it a point to instantly defend it, and fight for it and stuff. So like that's actually the belt that I got when I actually defended that title. So I have the original belt that I got. Mm-hmm. But I technically kind of trashed that one, not gonna lie, because I didn't want to be handed it, right? Yeah, so when I actually fought for it on the line and everything like that, that's the second one that I got.
Okay.
So that's the one that I actually won, and defended or won, and it was cool. Winning a world title is something that all pro fighters want to do and whatnot. They want to get to become the world champion somewhere to get to a bigger show.
That's the end goal, correct?
Yeah, to the extent. Yeah, I mean that was a smaller regional promotion. And then when I finally won this one right here, the CES World Title, which is a way bigger name world title. Like this is a feeder program into the UFC and into Bellator and worldly known, where you have guys flying in from across the countries and stuff like that. So when I won that belt, and that meant everything to me. Like I've cried in my coach's arms. I held that thing up like I just won the WWF World Title.
Sure, you're supposed to.
It was awesome. This was a great, great feeling. And then this is what got me picked up by Bellator.
Now, with achieving a goal like this and fighting for Bellator and just pursuing your dream at the highest level, what kind of respect do you have for your body?
None. I destroyed the shit out of
You do know why I'm asking this question, so go ahead, tell me.
None.
The way that I train and the way that I eat and all this other stuff like that is very, very old school wrestling crash diet stuff.
Give us an idea of that.
So, I mean, I eat whatever I want. I work way too hard. I train way too much to not be able to enjoy the small things in this world. Now, mind you, I do agree that if you do clean up your stuff, you'll feel a lot better. You'll perform a lot better. Your body will respond a lot better.
Do you do that closer towards fights?
To a fight, yes. When I'm in fight camp, I clean myself up a little bit, but I never step on a scale till 2 weeks out. Once I step on that scale 2 weeks out, depending on whether or not I need to lose 10 or 15 pounds, is really when the whole old school crash diet comes in, where I'm strictly eating, fruits, some vegetables, and every once in a while I'll have some like chicken and stuff like that for the protein and everything like that. But it turns into a very herbivorous diet. Like when you crash diet, you shock your body because you're trying to shrink your stomach, right?
Yeah.
So like once you get to the week of, you're not starving and you're not lagging yourself out. Where like a lot of people like to do that whole water loading. I don't trust that shit, right? Because I don't know. When I step on that scale, the 2 weeks out, everything's already mapped out. All right, so I'm 10 pounds over. I got to lose 5 pounds. And then when Monday hits, I'm 5 days out from weigh-ins. That's a pound a day. So that means I'm just maintaining a certain weight instead of being like, I got to get all this water weight off and stuff like that. Because a lot of guys have their own mathematics in that. I just don't trust it, right? Because my body likes to retain water once it gets to a certain point, especially since I have a limited amount of body fat. I kind of have to play this trickster game with it where my body likes to maintain it instead of stripping it. So like it'll hold on to all that water weight and stuff like that. So like I'll have to transition to, whenever I do get thirsty or something like that, I'll have like a lollipop or a popsicle or something like that.
No. Talk to me about breakfast.
It's a lollipop.
Breakfast?
I've seen you first thing in the morning, and it's usually a bag of chips and a Red Bull. That's a balanced meal for a champion.
They're great.
That is a balanced meal for a champion. I air him out about it all the time too. You know what I'm saying?
It's what gives me my energy in the morning, you know, like because I don't have the time to like sit there and prepare stuff. I don't like meal prepping and everything as much as I should. I do know I do. And, you know, it comes into, like, especially with at the age that I'm at now, being 32 and still continuing to perform and fight and stuff, I definitely am going to have a different mindset coming into my next fight with where I'm going to try to change that up and stuff like that because my energy levels are just not the same, obviously, from when I was younger and stuff like that, to where the fact that, like, I would eat just that bag of chips or something like that to get my metabolism going in the morning and stuff like that, which now it's no longer enough.
Now, once you condition yourself to eat the way you have, it's kind of hard to get, you know, back on the other side of things.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm addicted to salt, brother. I'm addicted to salt.
Fucking chips.
Now, as far as sleeping goes, do you sleep well? Do you do the little things to make sure that you're rejuvenating and your body is able to withstand what you need to put it through?
So taking care of my body wise outside of eating, I do thoroughly take care of like rehabilitation stuff. Like I have a sponsor called Restore Hyper Wellness.
You've actually brought me to that facility,
yeah,
and I appreciate you for that. It was a really good time.
Great place. I love that place where I can sit there. I can do some cryotherapy, some red light therapy, some infrared therapy in the sauna.
Excuse me 1 second, champ. Cryotherapy is no fucking joke. I couldn't handle 10 seconds of that shit.
With the cold
super cold
locked in the fridge.
Listen, I
Super
tried
cold.
The tub shit one time.
The ice cold, the ice bath.
The ice bath.
Oh, I used to sleep in those.
No,
I mean, when you pull him, I used to sleep in those motherfuckers.
Those are way more painful.
No, the cryo was tough, but yeah, that's a great facility, and I can understand why you trust them with your health.
So let me ask you, I gotta know, you know what I mean? But have you ever fought anybody that you didn't like? And you was like, I'm gonna fuck this motherfucker up.
It should be
in the cage or outside the cage? Because absolutely
no,
outside
in the cage.
the cage.
Like somebody like personally, like you just don't.
Yes.
Don't fuck with at all.
I did. There was this one guy. His name was Ricky Bass, and it was back in my amateur days where I tried fighting him 3 or 4 times, and he essentially was running from me, right? And then he even went as far as went out of my weight class. So what I did was I chased him down. I actually bumped up to his weight class just to fight him, and I think I ended up subbing him in like 40 seconds.
That's why he was running.
Yeah.
He already knew it was going to happen.
He was a track star for sure.
Now,
go ahead, Dave. All right, so what's your favorite? Toe-to-toe or striking?
Toe-to-toe is striking.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You like toe-to-toe or grappling, whatever. Like, you know
I love taking things to the ground. I'm a submission specialist in my mind. You know, I've been doing wrestling since I was 3. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was in like 6th grade. So I tell myself that I'm a submission specialist. I just love choking people out. I especially love ripping arms and limbs off. You know, that's my favorite thing.
Okay.
I love to like have somebody come out.
I seen that motherfucker last night when they popped that motherfucking elbow. That's what I'm talking about.
When you
pop that motherfucking elbow out.
Yeah.
You were gonna ask a question before, and Champ responded in the ring or outside the ring. But now, so I want to talk about outside the ring.
Yeah.
You're a real life tough guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's put it in perspective.
He's the modern James Dean.
You see what I'm saying? He's a real life tough guy. You know what I'm saying? He can physically handle himself. So, has anyone ever approached you, not knowing what you're about, and just completely got themselves in a bad situation?
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. I got this one story right where it was about like maybe 6-8 years back, and I went out to the bar. And at this time,
it always happens.
At this time, this bar that we went to in Homelstown, it was called the Gas Station. You know, it was the popularest bar there was in our town, bro. I love that place. They were a huge sponsor and supporter of me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
big ups.
The original owner from there, they actually hired me on for security one time, right? And I worked security one night and got fired.
What happened?
So here's what happens. Like when you have a guy of like my stature, right? Like I'm not the biggest dude, right? Like I'm 5'7", 135 pounds soaking wet, right? Mm-hmm. You have all these like testosterone up ex-football players from high school and all this and stuff coming in
from high school.
I already know.
And they're drinking and their testosterone's pumping. They gotta impress the ladies at the bar and stuff like that.
They got that beer courage.
They get crazy, right? They're like, we're drunk, partying, frat boy stuff.
I could take Blaine.
Yeah, sure. And
they talking that shit.
So that it's tough for somebody that big to sit there and try to respect somebody, especially in the wrong mindset of them trying to enjoy their night and stuff like that. where I have to come in, and I try to see it as more of a respectful route. I don't try to sit there and be disrespectful and be like, look, you're acting dumb, you need to get out of here, let's go. And I try to be like, hey man, are you having fun, man? Hey, can you mind doing me a favor? Just calm down a little bit, finish your beer. Maybe you guys headed out for the night. You seem like you're having struggling. And this dude instantly goes, yo, you don't tell me what to do, shrimp. Just gives me that little that Heisman push out the way.
Don't tell me what to do. And then what?
So obviously, I tried to play it off calm, and I go, sir, please don't put your hands on me. I don't want to have to put my hands back on you. He says, what are you going to do, small fry? So he puts his arm, shoves me again.
Sizing you up.
Damn, this motherfucker called your whole
He shoves me again, and he's got his group of 3 or 4 guys in a circle of a bunch of girls. I'm sure he was just trying to impress. As soon as this guy put his arm on me the second time, I instantly just Russian arm, dragged him.
A Russian arm.
Just shot into a nice fireman's backpack, him right over my shoulder, and dumped him straight on his head.
Nobody know none of those fucking techniques, but this man got his ass whooped. Let me summarize that for everybody out there real quick. Yeah. Something like that happened to me this morning. I was doing something nice with someone. The same thing along the lines of what you said and how this guy was responding to you. I was leaving my garage, and I get to the intersection, and the guy is, he's mentally challenged. I can tell he's limping, and he's just, taking his time. So
come on, man.
I decide to wait. I decide to wait. No, hold on. Hey, I decide to wait. But as he's crossing the street, I just kind of wave him along. All I did was roll the window down and just wave him along. He said, don't tell me what the fuck to do. I'm like,
motherfucker, nigga, you beat up radio? You beat radio up?
Nah, listen. But you gotta understand, it's like I was trying to do my nice act for my good deed for the day, and that's the response I got. So I couldn't do what Champ did to him, but that's kind of how you feel sometimes.
So you ran over radio?
Nah, man, I ain't do nothing to him. I just kind of laughed and went on with my day. But nah, I was just saying that in relation to what Champ was saying, people just want to start shit for no reason, even when you're being nice to them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I noticed though? Like when I go out, when I used to go out, I don't go out no more. But I always noticed.
We going out now.
I can go out.
Well, I'll go out with him if he's going to be kicking ass and taking names at the end of the day.
You know what I'm saying? But when motherfuckers, the people that got to get drunk to fight, they can't fight.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they get that shit that somebody bought me. They get that whatever, and they get that courage in them. You know what I'm saying?
But even with your skill set, you're not it's against the law for you to necessarily use your full extent of your abilities against an average person.
Oh, they find out who I am. Absolutely, I'm fucked.
So how do you manage that at that moment when a guy is touching you and inappropriately pushing you, and this is about to go somewhere where he has no clue about what's happening?
One of my favorite quotes, I can't remember where I heard it from, but I use it in this day, especially when I explain this situation, is, it took a lot of violence to become this calm.
Nice.
So, and it comes with being, the professional fighter, is the professionalism in the fighting, right? Because it comes to the common sense of what you're saying, right? I can get in a lot of trouble, and this
nobody.
Ivy League nobody guy who thinks that he's the toughest dude in the room right now, he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't understand fighting. He thinks just because he's big, anybody can throw hands. But realistically, just like you're doing any other job, there's a skill set that makes somebody better than you.
Exactly.
And,
yours happen to be with you at all times.
my skill set is I'm a professional ass whooper.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I've done it my whole life, growing up and stuff. I was always a smaller kid, and going through high schools and stuff like that, I was always an enforcer in my mind. Like, I wasn't a bully in any means, but I would bully the bullies, right?
Nice.
And nobody would expect it or, really step up to it or push me a little bit because, I was that small dude or whatever. But until I came into that picture, you know what I mean, that I was the one that was roughing up the bigger guys in the end.
So what got you into fighting? I mean, identifying your stature as a kid and realizing that you weren't the biggest in the room, what got you into a place where you wanted to take on and fight and take a punch in the face every now and then?
Well, that's actually a funny story. So, I actually didn't even know what fighting was until, 2011, right? So, I dropped out of college in 2010 after I graduated high school. I went to the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown, where I
wrestled. What was your major?
I wanted to be a history teacher.
Okay.
You laugh all you want.
I love history, by the way.
That'd be dope, though.
But he would be teaching the wrong history because we already know none of this shit is real. But go ahead.
But
let me show you with the history of Red Bull and all that other shit. I got started.
Originally, I did want to be a PE teacher, but in this time in 2010, that's where all these bullshit rights and stuff were coming out, where people wanted they hated that you had to like pass physical education in order to graduate. So like there was this big uproar with all like the legal systems and governments and schools and stuff like that.
It's the easiest class on the schedule.
It is. All you gotta do is just change and put your sneakers on, right?
Just show up.
You know what that proves, though, Champ?
Lazy.
That America is fat and out of
yeah.
shape.
And lazy.
Absolutely.
And Champ agrees with that. Yes, Avery, we're on the same page.
So that's what I wanted to do, but like all the schools around this time were starting to drop that program because, you know, like schools were getting rid of it because of the uproar and stuff like that.
That is terrible.
So that's why I wanted to do history, you know. I've always been into like American history and the Revolutionary Wars and all this stuff like that. I love war stuff. And so once I dropped out, you know, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with myself. So again, like I left the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown, not sure what I wanted to do with myself. I started working at the post office with my dad. And when I was working at the post office, my first ever manager that I had was a maintenance worker there. His name was Logan Holstein. And he comes up to me. He knew this wrestler I was because he knew my dad, and he followed me throughout my wrestling career. And he goes, hey, I managed a couple fighters. And funny enough, the fighters that he managed were Dustin Pegg, Dennis Bermudez, and a bunch of big named fighters that had a nice run in the UFC and stuff. He's like, we need a wrestler to come in there and work with them and stuff because they have fights coming up. So I was like, fighting? What's this? And he's like, oh, you know, it's MMA. You know, they get into a cage, they do this and that. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come in and wrestle. So I came in and wrestled with those guys for the first time, and, you know, I was just beating the shit out of all of them. Not Dennis. Dennis is the only one that I wasn't. But everybody else, like Travis and all them, you know, I was just wrestle fucking all of them. And I just fell in love with it. You know, like it was just like, I loved it. It was wrestling continued, and
like
I could do
calling.
more. Yeah. I just instantly fell in love with it. And from there, he's like, would you be interested in fighting? I was like, absolutely. So for like half the year, you know, I trained really hard at Holstein Athletics with all those guys. And then I ended up having my first amateur fight. And here's the funny thing about all this story, how everything comes full circle. My first fight that I ever had as an amateur was in Johnstown. And the coolest thing that my manager said to me at that time, my old manager, Logan Holstein, he says, I want you to remember this. Because I was fighting the hometown guy who had Sean Shirk in his corner, who was the former UFC champion, hometown guy, ex-UFC champ in his corner. Crowd was crazy. He's like, I want you to remember this. The last time you left Johnstown, you left here not knowing what you wanted to do with your life. You're going to come here now, and you're going to put your mark and let everybody here know that this is what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And I came back, you know, and I you know, the nerves were there, you know, I was excited, you know, and the anxiety was kicking and stuff like that, but I had my corners and stuff and everybody who became family to me, and I stepped out in that ring, and I ended up subbing that guy in the first round.
That's awesome.
And it was so crazy because that crowd was so nuts, and it was in some big, gigantic stadium out there at Johnstown, and I just remember the crowd was just so wild for this kid coming out. And I sat there, and my coach looks at me. He's like, let's shut this crowd up.
Let's go.
And that's where we ended up coming up with the Shutdown. That's my nickname. Because I
awesome.
shut that crowd down. You could literally hear a pin drop for how quiet that stadium got.
So you
after
did
I
shut it
subbed
down.
I shut it down.
You know, I love origin stories. I love to know where names come from. I love to know how these things pop up.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? That's awesome.
I got two things. First of all, I want to say thank you, because that was part of my fucking question. Number one, you swallowing that shit, you making me sick.
Now, you got to give the audience some perspective on this. Champ loves his dip.
Yeah, he loves his fucking dip. He's
A wad of it, too, like a whole wad.
Yeah.
Like his lip
I
on this
tried
side
that.
is sticking
Listen.
all the way out like he got punched in the
I tried that shit one time,
I'm
right?
touching that shit.
Listen, that shit made me sick for 3 days.
Yeah, your head gets dizzy and all types
Dizzy.
of shit. I don't
Yeah, the
understand.
dude
but
that gave me that shit, he was like, yeah, take it, blah, blah, blah. He was like, whatever you do, don't swallow it. What I do?
Swallow.
of course,
Yeah.
you can't help it.
That's where
Mixes
you
with
went
the
wrong.
Yeah, that's
saliva.
what went
You
wrong.
know?
Now, my question is, like, who's your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration?
Yeah.
As in, like, my, like, hero athletically or
Yeah.
overall?
Like, in MMA, like, who's like, damn, that's...
Well, my biggest inspiration, who's truly my hero and I
Yeah.
love more than anything in this world, is my late great grandfather, Larry Shutt. He was everything to me growing up. You know, he was my biggest supporter. He was my biggest fan throughout my wrestling career, next to my dad, obviously. But he's the one who like basically bankrolled all of my wrestling and my career and stuff like
that's
that.
what's up.
And he ended up passing back, and I think it was 2013. Hold on, I got his signature right here.
Oh,
on
there
my
you go. That's
You
awesome.
guys want to see that? Right
So, hold
there?
on, let's give a
That's
shout
my
out.
grandfather's signature.
Give a toast to Pop.
Larry.
All right. Yeet. There it is.
And you know, he's my biggest hero. He was the best dude anybody could ever met. He was a stand-up guy, old school as it was, and you know, he would do anything for anybody. He'd give his back off his shirt for a homeless man if he needed to. He was.
I mean, anyone who believes in you the way he did and supported you the way he did. I mean, that's special, you know. When you can tell someone your vision and they just completely get behind you and support.
Fuck it, let's just go.
But then look.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So big shout out to Uncle Larry, R.I.P. You know what I mean? Grandpa Larry. But yeah, big shout out to him.
Nick, you can do it, you bastard.
But let's talk about, you just wrapped up your camp last weekend.
Yeah.
200 kids.
Yep.
Craziness. Last minute this, last minute cancellations, parents acting crazy. Talk to me, man. I mean, how did things go? I believe things went very well, but I'll let you go ahead and sum it up.
So obviously, for the people who don't know, is you know, I've wrestled since I was 3, and I run one of the biggest all-star teams in the country called Team Shutt Wrestling. And what it is you know, it's an all-star team of guys from collected around the country. I do actually train personally a couple of these kids, where I have guys flying in from across the country that train with me personally one-on-one and stuff like that. I am in the works getting my own facility. I would really love to have my own RTC someday. That's in the works. You know, it comes with a lot of money and stuff like that to try to find a facility, get the insurances and stuff like that. So in the meantime, with what I do with Team Shutt, it's me giving back in the sport that made me the man that I am. It's giving kids an opportunity to go out there and showcase what they are as a wrestler and who they are as a person, and to try to help them evolve into the sport and give them my 2 senses and being in their corner to help them evolve and get seen by college coaches and stuff like that. Because with what I've built with Team Shutt, with the background story of even how I started it, was I originally started it for my brother Bailey, and my brother was a 3-sport athlete, amazing athlete, just born and blessed with the skill set of being a D1 athlete in anything he wanted to do. You know, he's an amazing football player. He also played baseball, and he probably could have went pro in either of those. But after his freshman year, he decided he wanted to pursue wrestling, and it was awesome for me, right? But he was a socially awkward kid, you know, like. He wasn't like autistic in any way or anything like that, but he was very to himself and didn't really like reach himself out to open up and meet new people and stuff. So what I did was I was like, listen, so since this is what you want to do full time, I'll create an all-star team and we'll go do some tournaments and stuff like that with local kids from our district and section, stuff like that you'll see at tournaments randomly throughout the year. And, you know, you create these bonds and make these friends, and you see each other at tournaments and stuff like that, and you just get more involved in the sport and love it more. So we built this team of some of the best kids from around the section, and we went to this tournament. It was the first ever tournament we ever did as a dual team, as Team Shutt. It was a Line Mountain Duels, and we ended up winning that tournament in criteria. So which means is that the dual meet was tied in the finals, and they have to go through this list of, like, you know, most matches won, most falls, penalty points, all this other stuff like that. And we ended up winning it on the last criteria. So that kind of transcended what Team Shutt ended up being today. So again, I built it for my brother to make these friends and give these kids opportunities, and it grew from kids in our section to the district, to the East Coast, to Pennsylvania, to what it is to this powerhouse today, where it's kids from across the country.
Now, you say you built it for your brother. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I'm one of 9 siblings.
That's why I'm making sure we're clear about that, because you come from a very big family. You know what I'm saying? But you have a very big heart. When you speak very passionately. You know, everything you talk about, you speak about it with a passion. And I'm gathering that that's just you as a person. You know what I'm saying? You're a dedicated person. You're a genuine human being. I've known you for a number of years.
That's why I fucks with him. I don't fuck with a lot of people, but I fuck with him.
But as I'm sitting here looking at him as he's speaking, I'm learning even more because I'm gathering his passion for everything, his family, his life, his sport, the things that he likes to do. You know, tell me about just what are some other skills that you plan on displaying as well? You know what I'm saying? What are some other things you're passionate about in life? Not just in fighting.
Not just in fighting. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy singing. You know, I'm a singer.
We've spoken about that before. Matter of fact, you did send me a video of you singing. I thought it was serenading me. I felt uncomfortable the entire time. Maybe I just didn't know what to say. But I was just like, Champ.
You just fell in love with me. That's what you did.
The second I saw Champ, the next time I said, no more, Champ. No more. No more. Okay, we'll leave that alone. But tell me about some other passions. You got the singing. What else?
I'm also an actor.
And you've been in a couple movies.
Yes, I have.
Talk to me. How many movies have you been in?
I've been in 3. I've been in Cold, which I was a boyfriend of the main character, Felice Herring. I was also in a movie called Fight Valley, which had like Chris Cyborg, Holly Holmes, and a bunch of other big name fighters in. Now, unfortunately, with Fight Valley, my part did get cut out of that one, so you had to have to buy the DVD or rent it to get the bonus features to see any of my
Then
scenes
we
in
want to
that
see
one.
all that then.
Right. Yeah, I want to see it.
And then I got my main cut where I was actually the lead role in a movie called The Whistler, where we made the theatrical trailer for it. And it ended up getting bought by a bunch of big name promotions, like Paramount bought it, Will Smith bought it, and stuff like that. But unfortunately, what happens to a lot of films and scripts that get picked up, they end up getting shelved and never made.
Yeah.
So even though we did the theatrical trailer and stuff like that, which you can see on YouTube, it's really cool. It's a really cool trailer about this guy who goes
we're
out-
going to run that for you guys, too. We'll make sure y'all see
this
it.
guy who's ex-military guy who's trying to take care of his sister and stuff like that because his parents passed, and ends up getting a crazy quirk into it where I end up turning into some mad serial killer. And
Yeah.
so it's really cool. I mean, I could tell you
can
from
relate
A
to
to
that.
Z and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad he gave us some insight as to what the character was about, because that was going to be my next question. Yeah. What was the role that you were playing for this movie, especially being the lead? So, that's awesome, champ. But we've also spoken about some other production things that you want to do. We've spoken about your documentary.
Yes.
I look forward. I'm excited to work on this with you. What are some things you want to show the audience? What are some insights you want them to discover about you?
Don't forget, me and him, we gonna work out.
Oh yeah.
You ain't working out with him.
Yeah, I'm just saying, the 52-year-old guy working out with a fucking
Bruss.
the MMA 2-time champion. Hell yeah, I'm
Okay.
all for it. I'm all for it.
Hold on, Al's
Y'all
back.
wanna see that?
Hold
We
on,
gonna- we
hold
gonna
on,
get it.
hold on, real
We
quick.
all
Sorry,
for
I'm
it.
sorry to do this, champ.
We all for it.
Has anybody been keeping counts of how many of those things he's been drinking?
I'm all for it.
Because he's up here talking
So
all types of
what?
reckless shit.
It
Sparring
don't
with a
matter.
hoe.
Listen.
You haven't even
Bro,
went to the
listen.
gym with me, bro.
It don't matter. But
You've
you know
already said, if I do go to the gym, I'm not doing no legs.
No.
Then how the fuck you gonna
Hold
fight
on,
this
time
man?
out, time
when
out,
he's
time
all
out.
about the ground and pound.
Because you telling the motherfucker workout, he's like, yeah, I worked out with Farron, and I was throwing up. I'm not doing that shit.
Bro, but what you gonna do with him? He's a professional fighter. I'm just in the gym going hard.
Okay.
Avery, don't be picking fights. That's what I'm saying. I was just trying to save you, but you know what? Let's
I'ma
get the
go.
camera. Brian, we need both cameras
I'ma
on
go.
site. We're gonna
I'ma
get this
go.
exercise in.
I said I'ma
Champ,
go with
when
him.
can we do this?
Listen, he's just practicing bad habits.
Champ, when
That's
can
it.
we do this?
We can do it.
When can we do this? Can this be part of the documentary?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. You
We gonna
gotta
make it
sign a piece of paper.
A waiver.
Hey, listen, it
a
don't
waiver. If
matter,
I
though.
snap your kneecap in half, don't complain.
Listen,
Champ.
you know worse than my grandmother. My grandmother whipped my ass. I had my ass whipped before.
An ass whooping is different than getting your leg kicked off.
Champ.
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 Here's the thing. I got a question.
Yes.
2 questions. Is there a catch weight in MMA?
So a catch weight is the definition of what you would call between 2 people agreeing on to meet at a certain weight.
No, that's what
you
I'm
call
saying.
a catch.
Is it? No, I know what it is, but I'm saying, is there one in MMA?
Again, as long as 2 fighters agree
Okay.
to it, yes.
So now, well, that's leading up to my next question. Is there a dream fight that you want?
Right now, I don't need no catch weight for who I want to fight
No, I'm
right
just
now.
saying though. Is there anybody that you wanted to fight that you were like, you know what, fuck it, I just want to fight them?
Mighty Mouse, I would love to fight Mighty Mouse, but I don't need no catch weight for it. He is my weight.
But that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying anybody. But you said Mighty Mouse. I'm just saying I don't give a fuck who it is. Anybody. Don't matter who it is. It's like, you know what? I just want to fight them just to fight them.
Mighty Mouse.
Okay. All right. That's what it is.
Demetrius Johnson, I would love to get in there and he's the best. He's the best flyweight pound for pound in the history of MMA, and he's a guy that I've looked at as somebody to chase. As a professional athlete and stuff like that. Guys that you'd want to consider a hero. You don't necessarily want to make somebody that's actually a competitor in your division at your level, but he's the pioneer of the flyweight division. He's personally the one that carried it for so long.
You put the work
It's
in.
unfortunate that we don't get the respect that we deserve as flyweight fighters. For some reason, I don't know why, but
I let me just stop you there. I just think flyweight fighters.
how dare you?
I mean featherweight
Flyweight.
and featherweight, flyweight. I just think that everybody always put on heavyweights. But I just think middleweight on down, those are the motherfuckers that get it in.
We're the technical fighters. Outside of that,
I'm
you
just
go
saying.
above.
But
That's what people like to
Me
see, though.
personally, I just think I like the underdogs. You know what I'm saying? I like the underdog because everybody's like, oh, he's going to fucking win. Like, nah, that motherfucker. I love the underdog because the underdog, he's going to come in there and he's going to fucking dog the fucking shit out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I like that.
Yeah, and I've played the underdog role most of my career. You know, I've never shied away from fighting anybody. I'm down to fight anybody, you know, especially towards if that purse is always right. You know, it's all about making money to a certain point once you turn professional because, you know, the love for fighting can only go so far because I can go do that for free in the gym with anybody at any time.
Or any bar after hours.
Right? Anybody that looks at me sideways, you know what I'm saying? Because I walk through a door, right? I go with my shoulders broad. You know, sometimes I have to turn to fit in the door with my ego. But
Good. You're supposed to, bro.
Now, speaking of fighting and speaking of tough guys, speaking of, you know, different weight classes and everything like that, what, you know, I've touched on this with you before, but again, what's the hardest punch you've ever taken?
The hardest punch I ever taken. Shit. That's tough.
Is it the one I've seen online?
To be honest, no. I didn't fucking feel that.
Okay. So
I didn't feel that, but my body was so like, what the fuck just happened, right? Like I didn't absorb any pain from that.
And I think I remember talking to you about that hit.
Yeah.
But one of the things you proudly said to me, I didn't go down.
Nope.
What keeps you up like that after a hit like that? What's going through your body, your mind? What's keeping you standing up instead of just fucking taking a nap?
I ain't no bitch, bro.
I love that answer. I love that answer, but you know what I mean? What's really going through your head at that moment?
Well, for one, there's the, oh, fuck, I don't want to get embarrassed, you know, like, so.
And he's on the attack again, so how are you gathering yourself?
You know, you got to do whatever it takes to survive. I ain't dying out there. You know, if I step in that cage and one person has to die, I'm not going to be that guy. Regardless what happens, regardless if I need those last 2 seconds to come out and rip somebody's fucking arm off or whatever, you know, I'm going to give it my all. And I'm not going out that cage getting embarrassed. It's just
that statement reeks mentality right there. That's all it is. It's a mentality. Now, how do you match that man's mentality and overstand what he's doing?
That's where you're talking about where it comes to like changing up my diet and stuff like that. I need to put on about like, you know, 20 pounds of fucking muscle, you know, in that fight, my last Bellator fight, which people don't really understand the difference in why there's weight classes, right? Is that to an average guy, you know, like Avery's got probably 100 plus pounds on me, right? Mm-hmm. If me and him were to fight, and I love you, so this is not me talking shit, I would fuck Avery up. Easy, right?
We're professionals at what we do, Avery. And when average guys talk, we just like to listen to you backseat motherfuckers.
Right?
Just when you know.
Fuck y'all.
So
Go ahead, my bad, though.
To the untrained.
Listen. You my man,
And
though.
I ain't talking
You my
about my
man,
gun,
though. But to the untrained, I like how you were starting that
To
sentence.
the
Go ahead.
untrained person, I can beat anybody in the world. It doesn't matter if you're a 300-pound weightlifting bodybuilder or whatever. It's the specialism in the sport and the understanding and the knowledge of something, right? Where if now you come in and I'm fighting that guy that's bigger, but he has the same skill set and knowledge of me, that counterbalances that whole pendulum, right? Mm-hmm. Where like now you have somebody that's on your skill level. So it comes into giving them those advantages and stuff like that and weight, where that's the demise of fighters and stuff like that, you know. And boxing, they can do it, right? Boxers, you know, they can kind of fluctuate their weights and stuff like that because it all just comes into power, right? Because they're just standing square to square with each other.
So
and there's no other benefits in that stuff, the situations. Like there's no ground game, there's no elbows coming, there's no aspects of needing to protect yourself from other things other than fists throwing, right? Anybody can throw fists. Anybody can throw hands, in my personal opinion. But now when you add in all the other aspects and stuff like that and all the skill sets, you know, somebody that stands straight up, they're going to get taken down. Somebody that is...
But then again, the audience, I just like how they fucking use me as a fucking example. You know what I mean? I'm the crash fucking dummy. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, Avery. You're on set right now with a professional MMA world, two-time world champion. I mean, do we have to...
I'm not going to let nobody say they're going to fuck me up.
But Avery, hold on.
I don't care.
Avery, hold on.
Hey, don't... Listen.
Hold on. You know what? Like get your hand away from this first.
I love you.
I love you, bro.
You know what I mean? You my man.
But hold on, Avery, stop. Do you know what it takes to get here?
I don't care. Just like I'll play one-on-one with you. I'm not going to sit here and let nobody do, I'm going to fuck you up. No,
Okay. Listen, we'll be back Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna take a quick break. Avery, you need to drink some water.
I'm fine.
Someone get him 2 bottles of water right now.
We're here. We're practicing bad
fine.
habits. Like, comment, subscribe.
He's practicing a lot of bad habits.
Fucking comment and subscribe.
Yeah, we'll be right back, man.
Yeah.
2-time world champion in the building, Blaine Shutt.
I've been on my shit. I hit the block and I'm bending that shit. Got my bitch sucking the tip of my dick. When I shoot in her mouth, it's gonna hit like a stick. Never when I shoot my shot will it brick. I honestly probably look like a lick. I'm really low key, I'm not in the mix. You know what's up, yeah, this nigga spit. Good with the flow, yeah, I'm good with the rapping. They talking, but ain't really good with the trapping. They get under pressure, start folding and cracking. I get out of place, then I'm fully adapting. I take a tour in your city, it's really the stunning, definitely not for attractions. Call it Betty, I'm with all the action.
Good.
camera has the double A batteries in it.
You should be good for about 10 minutes.
Get them AA batteries charged up, baby.
Oh shit.
He needs some ginger ale. He doesn't realize he's fucking drunk right now. He doesn't realize he's turned up.
Listen,
now you turned up like I'll be turned up. Yeah, you understand.
I'm good.
Nah. All right,
Man,
let's do this.
I'm good.
Thank you, Rob. Fucking man.
I'm good. I mean,
You sure you're okay?
I'm fine, bro.
You don't drink brown, and you're drinking it straight with no chaser.
Ain't nobody get shot yet, so I'm good.
Ain't nobody get shot yet.
So I'm good.
Practicing bad habits. We right back. Avery is threatening everyone in here, so I'm just gonna keep it going. We got 2-time world champion in the building. Avery, I do think you're a little bit tipsy.
No,
Hear me out.
Good,
and listen.
Everybody in the club getting pissed.
Yeah, I think you were a little. Here's why. You just said ain't no one gets shot yet, and then before we went to break, you reminded Champ that you guys were supposed to spar at the gym.
But that's not.
That to me says you shouldn't. And don't you drink white liquor? First of all,
but listen.
That's why I'm saying I think you're a little bit under the influence.
No, it's not.
And again,
I know
when
exactly
you're
what I'm
drunk,
saying.
you're gonna respond the way you're responding.
No,
you're
but I know what I'm saying, though.
That's the confidence of alcohol. Everything you're gonna fight.
But listen,
I got you.
Let me ask you one. Let me ask you
Go
one
ahead,
thing.
Champ, jump
Let me
in.
ask you one thing. How well do you think you'd be able to take a leg kick?
That's a good question.
a leg kick.
A leg kick.
I don't know. I'm being honest.
You want to find out?
I don't care.
Let's go in the parking lot right now. Let's go to the front of the fucking building.
One powerful chop to the leg. Would you take it?
Yeah, I would take it.
All right.
See,
And
he's
if it
drunk.
hurt, it hurt.
He's drunk.
If not, but fuck it. I'd be like, yo, fuck it. That shit hurt.
He's drunk.
Yeah.
You have steps
I don't
in your
care.
house.
Listen, I applaud you for
Avery,
wanting to
you-
find out.
I do want to find out.
Avery, I'm not saying you're not a single man. I know you have a woman, but you live alone.
Yeah.
So getting your leg fucked up, you're not gonna be able to go up and down the steps.
Listen.
You got a job.
You want to miss leg day with him, but you want to get chopped off?
Come on. He's
Listen,
drunk. That's the
I
brown
don't
liquor
care.
for you.
Look,
Champ, can we get back to some
Avery,
Avery, can we get back to some questions? Because obviously the alcohol is taking over the conversation.
No, it's not. But I have a personal question.
Talk to me.
As a girl dad.
Same.
Dad of a daughter, yeah, come on.
I'm a girl dad. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
And you are. Has your daughter watch you fight?
Yes.
And
And how old is your daughter?
She's 6.
6.
Yeah.
And she's seen you taking blows and giving blows back.
She has.
How
yeah.
did she react to you?
Yeah, the first she's more used to it now. But when because my daughter has been coming with me to the gym since I was carrying her and her little bassinet.
Carry, yes,
Every single day, she would come to me to my boxing gym at Manny Rose Boxing, and I'd sit her there, set her up. She'd watch me, and through her evolution of growing up, she'd sit there and she starts joining me. She starts doing the workouts that I do now. So she's watched me spar, and the first time she ever watched me spar, she watched me get hit. And I remember she started crying up and stuff like that. And I go to my corner at the end of the round. She's crying. She's, Daddy, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, Daddy's okay. What are you crying for? She's like, Daddy, I'm scared. I'm like, all right, baby girl, watch this.
Yeah. That's
So next round comes, and I put in that work, and I drop that other dude, and she starts laughing. I was like, see? Daddy's not getting hurt.
Yeah.
Is that something you think she would actually do when she gets older?
She loves fighting.
Does
dude.
she?
She loves fighting. I can't even tell you how many times. So she's in kindergarten now, right? I can't tell you how many times I've gotten emails by the teacher or calls.
shit.
Yeah, where she's threatening kids to beat them up and fight them and stuff.
Oh, wow, putting them in all types of moods too.
My daughter's a beast. My daughter also, I have her in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And from what I'm teaching her with wrestling and stuff like that, you know, she's at that age where she's a sponge now. And,
Little shutdown.
She loves fighting.
That's
She
what's up.
loves wrestling, and you know, she's got 2 stripes on her white belt now in jiu-jitsu, which I was actually capable and blessed to be able to give to her and stuff. So it's cool. You know, it's something that I could see her.
So you don't have to worry about bullies or nothing like that as she gets older, because she's actually, as long as you keep her right, she might, you know, she would actually be defending the bullies. Like,
My daughter is a beast, and if I play my cards right, she could be the next women's UFC champion when she gets older.
is that right? That's your plan?
That's what I would like to have happen. Now there's another half in her life that, you know, kind of makes things hard.
Your baby mom.
Yeah, that bitch.
Here we go.
You know, I was gonna ask you, what are some stressors in your life?
Definitely that, you know, being a fighter, you know, and when I became a dad, you know, my biggest fear was that was going to alter my fight career, you know, and my fight career is all I had, you know, it was my continuation with wrestling, especially since, you know, I dropped out of college and stuff, like I said, and not knowing what I wanted to do, and that's what I ended up pursuing. My fear was losing that, and especially with all the fighting and the money spent and the nauseating situations that I had to deal with and go through to even be the father in my daughter's life, could have put a halt to that. But you know, I did what I do. I knuckled down. I fought through it. I grinded through it, and you know, I fought for my daughter, and I fought to be in my daughter's life, and I'm finally getting, you know, the end of the due diligence of me being her father and getting to make decisions and put her in stuff. Now, mind you, it still comes with a lot of backlash and a lot of headaches and stuff like that.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
Yeah, but my daughter's coming into her own now. Like, she's starting to understand things, and she has 2 separate lives, and you know, she has a life with her mom, she has a life with me, you know, and as she gets older, she'll start to combine both, and I'm hoping that with the nurture and love that I've given her in the discipline of jiu-jitsu and in the sport that I love, and
She's gonna be a daddy's girl. Don't worry about that.
yeah.
Don't worry about that.
It's one thing I ask you, how do you handle a punch that's devastating? It's another thing that when you get punched in life, how do you also handle that aspect of things? How do you keep everything else balanced? Your training, your focus in your job, and everything else. How do you manage to keep it all together, going through everything else?
Yeah, one of the hardest things that I think anybody, you know, has to go through with life, and what a lot of people struggle with, and what you have with people ending their lives early and stuff like that, is the lack of discipline. And that's what wrestling gave me. Wrestling gave me an undeniable, relentless discipline. Now, that being said, you know, this discipline does have its ups and downs, right? You know, motivation and, you know.
And it's applied in different ways. So give us some context as to what kind of discipline to stay focused, more driven.
Yeah, stay focused. You know, like get yourself up, go do all the running around that you need to do to pick up your daughter and go to the gym or go get groceries and make sure that you're doing what needs to be done first in, you know,
So
raising
basically,
the girl.
there's no feeling sorry for oneself at any point.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And where does that mentality come from? Because you know what? A lot of people suffer from that.
Yeah, my love for my daughter and wanting the best for her, you know.
But what about the love for yourself? Does that factor in? Because obviously you're doing this. You know, you have to provide for her. So talk to me about that love for yourself.
Something about myself that would take a whole nother podcast to explain and conversate about is my lack of self-respect for myself. You know,
Whoa, that's a heavy statement.
God damn.
listen,
Yeah, I'm looking like, wait.
Lack of self-respect.
I've been a person my whole life where I've kind of lived through the happiness of others, where I don't really, I sacrifice my own
I
happiness.
believe that's called living vicariously through other people.
No. That's pursuing what you wanted in your life through somebody else. That's what my dad did with me.
Okay.
That's a different aspect. I'm willing to give up everything that I love to make sure that my daughter has everything she needs in life and to prepare herself to have the future that I would want her to have and be fine.
When you say give up,
I'd stop
fighting?
Yeah. My daughter.
Why
is
would
my
that
number
be necessary when she's such a supporter of what daddy does?
Well, listen, there came times where, you know, in the custody battles and the nonsense that I had to go through, where it took too much of my time to the fact that where I wasn't able to go to the gym or whatever, or me going to the gym was what was threatening me from even having my daughter.
Now, that's what I'm asking. How did you survive those times mentally? Because that's not easy for a lot of people.
I destroyed a relationship. I turned into a very, very spiteful and hateful person for a while until, I found the means and the understanding of how to get through these things and learn firsthand. I'm a big person at learning the hard way, and I ask questions and I try to talk to other people to go through certain situations and stuff like that, but nobody can deal or go through the same road that somebody else has dealing with something else. 'Cause there's always a different aspect.
So what do you do to like tone it down, like for you? Like what puts you in like a comfort zone? Like what do you do? Just like
or who? Yeah. Is there someone that says, "B, come on, you're better than that," or is that your inner dialogue?
See, myself, I deal with very, very high stress levels. Panic attacks. I have severe chronic depression, and I've been diagnosed with craziness stuff. But like I said, where I
well, that makes a good fighter.
where I find my happiness is fixating on one thing, and that's what I did with fighting, right? Originally, and then when I found my daughter, my daughter was what gave me.
Fixating sounds so bad.
Does it?
It's passionate.
That's another word to use.
You're passionate,
for it,
man.
Yeah,
so you put all your focus into something.
Correct, and and the way that I am, with growing up and standing up and needing to man up and do the things that what I believe morally a man needs to do is when you have a child in your life, that's what becomes your first priority. That's what becomes your first priority. And as much as I love fighting, as much as I love these world titles, and like my name being up on billboards and all this other stuff like that, being the best father I can be is more important to me than winning a world title. Because the best world title that I will ever have in my life is father.
But you're already doing a few things that I admire, and just the way you speak about being a dad is admirable. But wouldn't that also be you setting an example through your actions at all times? Never quitting, never giving up, don't let anything adverse get in the way?
Yeah, correct. And, I think, even though I never saw the outlets on how to get there because I felt like you needed to stop things to pursue other things where, I just kind of winged it and it worked itself out, where it comes to, getting to the gym and, standing up for what my rights are as a father and stuff like that, and, involving my daughter in it at a young age, and that other person seeing that as an outlet that or an environment that shouldn't involve a child and stuff like that. It's two different mindsets. You know what I mean? You have left side and right side, and
B, you have a lot to say. I'm the kind of person when I talk to someone, I realize you're only giving the surface. Like you're not even dipping down even. You're only giving the surface of who you are as a person. So the reason I'm saying that is you talk to me about your own podcast. Yeah. And I think that would be very instrumental because the way you speak, your passion, and the things that you still have not even divulged in any interview and any conversation that we've had, I think that would be beneficial for you. What are some things you would bring to the table with your own podcast?
Having your own podcast, is obviously a very, very huge commitment, right? And coming from somebody that has a huge loads of commitment, it's definitely an outlet to unload, life situations and get ideas off your chest and stuff like that. Because,
I like outlet, but therapeutic is so much more soothing.
Well, I'm sorry I don't have a cornucopia of words for you that you have in your dictionary back there.
Well, you know what it is. You know what it is, champ. That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
Because when you're wired the way you're wired, and you've been through and experienced so much, like we've spoken about, the average man can't necessarily relate. You need a therapy session. Mm-hmm. You need a way to express yourself and be you. So that's why I say that. It's therapy. It makes me feel better to sit here and chop it up with grown men that's about this shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, as far as your podcast goes, that's something you're serious about.
Yeah, listen, I would love to be able to express my own stories and help out anybody else that wants to listen to, life situations and how I worked myself out of them and decisions that I made right and wrong.
I'm glad you said that because also too, and the producers are going to shoot me dead on the set right now because they've been telling me to wrap it up for the last 10 minutes. Yeah. But listen, I have one more question.
Mr. Brown.
I have one more question, right? With your podcast, what are some things you're going to bring to the show?
Excitement, great stories, ups and downs, what it takes to become a stand-up man in now time society. Mm.
Now, do you see yourself more of a coach, MMA fighter, or a life coach?
Oh, listen, the coach that I am is a wrestler, and there's no other sport in this world that you can do that relates to life like wrestling does.
So you see yourself as which one?
The wrestler, for sure. Listen,
but not a life.
It comes hand in hand, right? No, listen. Your life decisions are simplified into decisions that you've made and gone through in wrestling. Whether it's the discipline of cutting weight, getting to practice, staying in order, cleaning yourself so you're not getting any type of mat funk. You know what I mean? The grindingness, the cutting weight, and the situations of getting comfortable in uncomfortable positions. That's what it is. You know, that's what life is, being comfortable in uncomfortable situations, having to get up and get your ass to work.
But how do you explain, like, an average man not being able to handle those pressures of average life shit, but yet still you can and do so much more on top of it?
Listen, that's a deeper conversation where you...
So that's why you need your own damn podcast. And bring me on. I'll ask you I'll challenge you as a guest. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, we can do this all day.
Absolutely.
And you know we can. So are you going to come back? Tell your audience if you're going to come back or not.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm always coming back. Listen, we practicing bad habits, brother. Like, comment, subscribe.
And plus, he's gonna have his own podcast. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he says, "Fee, I'm ready to go," we make it happen. You know what I'm saying? You'll be starting. You can look forward to watching B Show eventually. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on set. Listen, let's make sure we give him some love. Hey,
for sure.
Let's make sure we give him some love, man. Listen, 2-time world champ. You know the kind of work you got to put in to get one of these right here, baby.
You got to hold it right. You got to wear it proud.
Damn, my bad.
Put it on backwards.
Champion, you're supposed to wear it right.
I never put on a belt before.
You're a 2-time champion.
Listen,
right?
if I'm a 2-time, I'm a one.
It doesn't matter. You're a 1-time champion.
Yeah, I am a 2-time champion
all right,
too.
So
yeah,
you're supposed to you're supposed to wear it right.
But me, I kissed the baby. You know what I mean?
I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
You're fucking with the average
Joe.
Yeah,
we got the big dog on set, man.
You fucking with the average Joe. I know how to wear it.
He does know how to wear it because he'll never ever earn one of them.
It don't matter.
Yo, I'm just fucking with you. Hey, I'm just fucking with you.
I'm a champion in the streets though, but
let's show our love to the man on the set right now. You know what I mean?
Saying? My motherfucker, me already know.
Hold that thing up for my brother, man.
Huh? You see it.
Thank you for coming through.
Absolutely, man.
And listen, he's actually been around here more times than we'll ever lead on to let you know. So this man actually hangs out around this spot. So you're gonna be seeing a lot more.
You know what I like about him though? Because he'll fuck you up.
And then fuck with you.
But he's cool. He's humble.
Cool as hell.
That's why I fuck with him.
B's the kind of guy that'll kick your ass.
I don't fuck with nobody the way we fuck with each other.
Nah, be the kind of guy that'll kick your ass and then extend his hand and pick you up.
Oh my God.
Worst type of enemy.
We be at where we be. We fuck with all the time.
Yeah.
But yo, we're gonna wrap it up. But you have anything you want to say to the people? Anything? Any shout outs to your daughter? Anybody out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my baby girl Allison. You know, without her,
shout out to Allison.
You know, she saved me through a lot of dark times and stuff like that. You know, it's amazing being a father. It's scary at first, but like as you get to watch your own life grow up and then everything, all that stuff's worth it. You want to follow me on any of my social medias? I got Facebook, I got Instagram.
Drop it.
We got a bunch of cool shit coming out. You know, me and Farron here are going to come out with a cool documentary where you want to see what it's like to step in the shoes of a professional fighter and see all the
details.
Waking up in the morning.
Also drop where they can watch your fights and shit like that too. You know what I mean? Old, new, all that shit.
Yeah, I got fights on UFC Fight Pass. You can just YouTube my name. You can Google my name. I got fights all over the place.
What's your Tony name?
Blaine Shutt, baby.
That's what I'm saying. Say it, Chad.
I got to spell it out.
No, say it. They don't know. Right?
They do know.
I got some niggas making moves, we making moves.